let's get through this. Titling this episode of Mr. Nailsin's Wednesday Comics, Absolute Power versus Rook Exodus. Guess who wins? Yeah, it's no contest, but anyway, this is issue 2 of the Absolute Power event series. Don't care about the tie-ins or any of that, and increasingly, well, I bought the first one, so I guess I'll read there's only 2 more issues, I believe, in this thing. And after seeing the previews of what Absolute DC Comics will be, this is over before it began. I guess the only thing is their sort of refresh of the mainline continuity. Maybe there'll be a few good ones there. But seems unlikely. So anyway, did Mr. Nailsin Sunday Comics reading public domain comics and that sort of thing. I don't do a lot of that here, but I'm thinking maybe I should. So given the opportunity, with only 2 issues that I'll be talking about here, I guess I'll do it like that with these preview pages of the story. Superheroes by the dozens, drained and beaten, treated like the criminals they are, held permanently under lock and key. Gomorrah Island, Metahuman Detention Center. I feel safer already. Amanda Waller's Hall of Order, Washington, D.C. What's the current success rate of Task Force 7? So there you go. You got all the people captured, But oh no, some are still at large. Solid over 80% of Earth's superheroes have been depowered and incarcerated. Problem is that 20% include the biggest fish yet to be caught, and they've gone underground. Would not the next logical step be to lure them into the open? Perhaps by targeting the humans they care for, companions, loved ones. So here's the War Council with the supposed trinity of evil. Failsafe, now cosplaying as Batman. Brainiac Queen, because, And Amanda Waller, the leader of the group. Meanwhile, Traitor Green Arrow is a part of the team, and then Dreamer. Let's see. Those humans are civilians. Our goal here is to protect ordinary people and keep them safe. I'm not a sociopath. Now, this is actually, I gotta give it. When the robot looks at, Dreamer, and is like, yeah, she said that out loud. You believe that? Probably the best panel of the series, despite having Dreamer in it. Look, sympathies for what people go through in their lives and whatnot, but when you advocate for the mutilation of children, I'm sorry, and that's what the actress or actor, what have you, however you want to put it, advocated for. And, move on. CW is over. But, our only targets are those whose good deeds are far outweighed by their ability to endanger Joe Lunchpail by attracting threats, domestic, alien, interdimensional, magical, etc. Yeah, whatever. We're saving the Earth here. Failsafe and Arrow, I want you to continue monitoring the task force. Make sure they're containing all the power they're absorbing. Dreamer, I just want you gone. But anyway, I need you mission ready. You'll be conveying an asset. Your watchword is stealth. No one will figure that one out. Brainiac Queen, you'll distract with a frontal assault, but you'll need a guide. Yeah. Anyway, fortunately, I have just the man for the job. Meanwhile, at the Fortress of Solitude, she has my son. Lie down and rest. The only thing holding you together right now is that containment suit. Yeah, you see, this is typical, like the black suit. He'll put him after he's been depowered because he could absorb the solar radiation to restore his power. And that's an interesting thing about they're never very consistent after Superman's powers are taken away. In this case, Amazo now can not just copy them but absorb them completely. But he's still here. his body and millions of years of evolution on Krypton makes him capable of restoring his power. So that's the deal. If you did a red sun, I still would argue he's still stronger than the average man because of the massive gravity on Krypton as compared to Earth. Stuff like that. So, sure, he's down, but not out. And, I mean, of course, they're going to have these armored suits they're going to use and stuff like that. But still, this is a thing that happens repeatedly. And it shouldn't happen repeatedly. You make the mistake once, maybe twice, but really, unless you absolutely reorganize his molecular structure to where he truly is human, but he isn't, you know. And wearing a suit like this is a containment suit. Containment for what? You know, he had a containment suit when he was Electro Superman because he was basically an energy being at that point. But here, since he was so badly injured, you know, he was shot when he wasn't invulnerable to bullets anymore. So he's recovered. So you can think, but you put him in the black suit, which they've had before, because it recharges him. It helps absorb more of the solar energy available, and so eventually, but they're not going to do that. So it's just one of these stupid things that happens. It's like, look, you got to have an explanation beyond just Amazo stealing powers, which is similar to Parasite with Superman. You know, it weakens him and he's all sick and stuff, but he recovers, you know. Anyway, Waller has John. We don't know that, Superman. She does. For the most part, we're not certain exactly who's where. Oracle is doing what she can to facilitate communication, but with Cyborg down, that's a losing battle. Almost everyone is powerless, so safety in numbers is more paramount than ever. Between Red Tornado, the Doom Patrol's vehicle, Mercy Supercore Jet, and Blue Beetle's bug, we've been able to assemble whomever we can find. And that's it. They get in a bickering fest about who should be in charge. Of course, logically, Batman would be as for their main strategist. But spoiler, Dick Grayson will step into the role of leader of their resistance movement. Not that it amounts to a whole lot because they get invaded and the fortress falls. Yeah. It's just not that good. It really is. Dreamer seemingly is taken out in this issue, but come on. Do you think so? But anyway, already knowing where it's going, and it's, you know, for the absolute DC, which will just probably be a tail-end thing to reveal that yet another multiverse world has been created, and, well, oh boy, we've got a 4-year story plan. It's only going to last a couple of months, probably. Yeah, because it does not look good. But that's just the look. Maybe the story would be interesting. Yeah, I doubt it. But anyway, that's that for Absolute Power. It's much ado about nothing. Oh, yeah, the cover. John Kent, before they did this thing where John Kent got the Electro Superman powers, and I thought that would have been an interesting thing to give him his own superhero identity, sort of, with a different power set and everything, but I don't even know if he does that anymore. It just came and went. Now, thanks to Amanda Waller and Brainiac technology, he looks more akin to Cyborg Superman. So he's going to be Cyborg Superman. I don't know if he'll suddenly start wearing yellow sunglasses to be the Eradicator Superman. Maybe that too. But that seems to be what they do with John Kent these days. A character that had a lot of potential with the family dynamic between Superman and Lois, and then they just threw it in the trash. So, by prematurely aging him and all that crap. So, yeah. Meanwhile, and really this speaks to the only lines to even bother paying attention to are the independent ones. And for right now, top of the list, of course, there's Conan, which is probably the best ongoing comic book series of the moment. But the two big contenders would be Ghost Machine of Jeff Johns' project with the titles he's doing, and then, of course, Mark Millar's runs and whatnot. So, but right now, Ghost Machine is going full steam ahead, and Rook Exodus, which is sort of an outlier of the overall series. The others, again, I'm not sure if Rook is supposed to be connected to those others. The others are, even though they're stretched across different points in time. Of course, Rook Exodus could easily be folded into it, as it's so far distant into the future, beyond even Geiger. So I don't know, but anyway, it's an interesting sci-fi story in and of itself. Of hey, how do we accommodate cool-looking outfits within a narrative? And so, of course, it's this failed colonized planet. And these are the people that were left behind. And they brought animals to it, but they're being changed and mutated by the environment of the planet. And in order to maintain control over the given animals, these guys were assigned as wardens, as they were called, over them. And they wear these helmets that enable them to control the minds of the animals. But it's an ongoing battle between the animals and the wardens in that aspect, and also it seems sometimes the animals are having more influence over the humans than the other way around. In the meantime, the civil war of the wardens has broken out over dominance of the planet, even though the main character, Rook, is saying, look, this is a lost cause, that we need to get out of here. But his ship got blown up, so he's pretty much stuck for the war, and a friend of his has already been murdered. So he's going to want some revenge for that, and so on and so forth. Meanwhile, he's got a sexy girlfriend who she controls wolves, so she's dire wolf, and they're plotting all this stuff anyway. So I was born in Bloomington, Illinois, one of the last farming communities in the United States. I lived there until the farm was burned to the ground. My father died in the fire. With nowhere to go, I was recruited by Better World, because they couldn't come up with a better title, so they just went with Better World, to become the warden of Corvus Bracken, the crows. I command the crows that were imported and bred on Exodus. The birds constantly push against my commands. Their minds combined, they often break their connection to my helmet. Most animals do. The birds are not my friends. They have no loyalty, only resentment, which is why it can be hard to command them to fight. So he's connecting to the birds at this point, getting ready for this battle. Ursaw is here. Now, this is the guy who controls bears, and he's decided to wipe out the other wardens and take their helmets and, I guess, dispatch them to his lieutenants or what have you, so that he can dominate the failed world of Better World. Now, I guess, worse world. I don't know. Dire Wolf would say the same thing about me, and she's partly right. Then we go to him, Rook, which is her response to his Ursaw, With its world engine offline, Exodus is reverting to the barren planet it was before Better World dressed it up. The employees like me were left behind, along with a few folks who stayed to try and save Exodus. Donica, her father, and some of the other wardens think it's as simple as finding the engine and fixing it. But I know it's not. It isn't only the nature that's killing Exodus now. It's the people. My mission will soon be complete. It's happening here exactly as it happened on Earth. So, I guess everything went to crap on Earth. hence everyone leaving for better world, but better world didn't work out. But anyway, boy, one of the big highlights is the art, of course. It's absolutely gorgeous, and here's this big, double page scene of the wolves and the crows attacking, the bears. Good luck, guys. We're dragging the animals down with us. Yeah. So here we go. Just more examples of the high quality art. It's absolutely good. The grid. If Ursal gets it, he'll be able to locate every warden on Exodus. There must be more to Ursal than him wanting our helmets. The birds scream at me, as they often do. Caw, caw, caw. Fly away. That's what they say. That's their answer to everything, is to fly. Of course, he can't fly. But maybe he'll get some wing apparatus, so he can fly like they do. But now it looks like, I don't know, he slipped in wolf poo or something. Freya, hurry! And she's talking to her wolves. Ursal has been hunting down wardens. The enigma of a man murdered this enigma of a man murdered Direwolf's father and my best friend Swine. I made a promise to get justice for Swine before I abandoned Exodus. And, well, here comes his chance somewhat, because one of Ursal's henchmen has taken over the Swine helmet, and so he controls the boars, these giant mutated pigs. It's funny how the crows haven't mutated. I think would have thought they would be, maybe the later issues they'll start to get giant too. Anyway, quit whining or I'll make bacon out of you like the last one. So the pigs are somewhat they're resentful of him. They trusted their former master. They don't really like this guy. So apparently he's already barbecued one, made them watch or whatever. So, boy, I wonder how that's going to work out. When I see one of Ursal's soldiers wearing Swine's helmet and controlling his prize pig, I add to my list of things to do. Recover my friend's helmet, free his animals, and kill the man impersonating him. So there you go. Well, you got to check it out to see how it goes, but it's one of those where it's fascinating and cool, and I'm not entirely certain where it goes. The main character is saying the world engine doesn't work, it's broken, hence the main corporate sponsors of the planet abandoned it and left. So my guess is that they'll find a way to make it work, but what's the deal? How does this continue? And do they become more animal than animals becoming? And do the animals gain a certain sentience and intelligence? How does this pursue? Where it can go, don't know. But in the meantime, there's this war for this guy who intends to rule it all. And as Rook says, there's got to be more to this than he just wants the helmets. And so what does Ursal know? Does he have a special knowledge that the others are lacking, and he knows the secret of the world engine or something like that? It could be. So it's a cool romp. I still think Geiger is probably the best of the batch of these, but they're all cool and they all have so much potential and possibilities there in Ghost Machine. So it's the one to watch for the moment, alongside, of course, Mark Millar's works and Conan, and that's about it. The big two just take number twos all the time, and that's about all there is to it. And so there we are, Ghost Machine for the win. Well, obviously, Rook beats Absolute Power without even breaking a sweat. So there you go. That's what I had time for this episode of Mr. Nailsin's Wednesday Comics.